Greetings from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. My name is Charles McCall, and this is where I live. It's not my house, but I live in this city. I lived here for many years, and I am a specialist in the area of leadership. I have a lot of experience, and I can help you rise to the next level of your leadership. I want to just summarize to you briefly. What I'm going to summarize is 7 changes that you have to make to become a leader. 7 things that you have to do, 7 things that you have to learn, 7 changes that you have to make to become a leader or to rise to the next level of your leadership and develop your leadership capacity. These are actually, I'm going to summarize, but these are actually 7 full lessons that we might get into at a later time. But I'm a Christian, and so I believe in a one true God that is sovereign over everything. And I believe He's there to help us. And so the first change that we have to make is we have to become men and women of prayer. Because in our life, in our job, in our leadership, we will meet with problems that are too big for us. That we may have a lot of experience with our brain, a lot of experience in our life, a lot of leadership experience, but we will meet with problems as a leader that are too big to solve. But I'm happy to say that there's a God in heaven who has all of the answers. And so the first step in becoming a successful leader is to become a person who prays, somebody who communicates with God and says, God, I need your wisdom. And so if I were to develop this lesson, as I have done previously, that I will explain about how to hear from God. How do we hear from God, and how does He speak to us and give us answers? But this is just a summary today. So the first change that you have to make, you got to be a man and woman pray. A person who just does a common everyday job, the normal worker, maybe doesn't meet these kind of problems. But when you start having responsibility to oversee people, to oversee finances, we need wisdom from above. The second thing that you have to do is you have to learn how to communicate. This is another full lesson, more than one lesson, but communication is really difficult. To get what is in our heart through our brain, through our mouth, or through our pen or computer to somebody else, it's a really difficult process. And so you will need to develop personal communication, interpersonal communication skills, then you will have to develop organizational communication skills. Very, very important thing that you have to learn as a leader. Another one, the third thing that you have to change is you need to learn how to receive vision, share your vision, and implement your vision, because everything rests upon vision. Of what you see, you communicate it. And you have to see it clearly. If you're not clear, then your customers or your staff is not going to be clear either. So the first thing you have to change is you have to become a man and woman of prayer. Secondly, you need to learn how to communicate interpersonally and organizationally. Thirdly, you need to learn how to get a vision and how to share that vision and how to implement that vision. And that brings us to the fourth thing that you have to change, and that is you have to learn how to make a strategic plan. First step is vision. Where are we going? Second step is how are we going to get there? What are the goals and what's the specific steps that we need to make to get to where we're at now, to where we want to be or where God wants us to be. The fifth thing that you have to change is that you have to select and train leaders. We can't do it by ourselves. Every great leader has a team that is working with him or her. And so you will need to select leaders, potential leaders, and you will need to train them with your DNA, with your philosophy, with your core values. And so again, that's an entire full lesson on that subject, but it's a skill that we need to learn on how to select the right kind of leaders, potential leaders, how to train them, how to develop them, how to release them. And that brings us to the next thing that you have to change. That is, you have to release your leaders and your helpers to serve and work according to their gifts. But I believe in something that Pastor Rick Warren has developed. It's called SHAPE. SHAPE is an acronym for spiritual gifts, heart motivation, abilities, personality, and experiences in life. And so every person is unique. Basically what we're saying, you have to learn how to get the right person in the right place according to their shape. And then you have to release them to do that. And the seventh thing that you have to change is that you only do what they cannot do. Don't be tempted to do their job for them. But you release them to do their job, give them the freedom to do their job, give them the freedom to make mistakes at their job, but you do only what they cannot do. And so these are 7 changes that you have to make to become a leader or to rise to a new level of leadership. Stay tuned. I would like to, at some time in the future, go back and be more thorough with this.